Hey guys, Stealth here, looking at Fractured Space again. I had not covered two ship classes yet, which are the Disruptor and the Frigate. So right now we're going to look at the Frigate, and one thing that you can notice right away is this ship is pretty small. If you compare it to an Assassin, the Assassin is a bit bigger. It does always take a while to load in these models, by the way. The Hunter is somewhat smaller, although still a pretty big target. You got the flagship, of course, which is the biggest ship in the game at the moment, and then you have the frigate, which is very, very small. Another thing that you can notice right away is the very high mobility on this ship. It is almost perfect, almost 3K, and this is only going to increase as you tier up this ship. So as you develop the ship from tier 1 to tier 3 as you're in a game, this is going to get even better. So more speed, more maneuverability, and better chances for you to get at a good spot at the enemy. This does come at the cost of some defense. The ship is not very heavily armored, it does not have a lot of hit points, and don't expect the ship to last as long as a flagship would, because they're simply not designed for that task. They do have some interesting offensive weaponry. They got lasers, as we're going to see in the game, and they got all sorts of useful abilities. So let's have a look at those. The abilities are, for example, multi-shot, which allows you to fire multiple times. It can also use a screen, and this is a sort of directed shield. Where you aim your cursor, a shield or screen is going to appear. So this is a sort of temporary extra shield for either yourself or your allies. If you have an ally who is heavily damaged and you can get close to him, you can put up the screen, be a temporary deflector shield more or less, and help your ally get to safety, because just those extra seconds might give him the opportunity to jump away. Next up, it can launch proximity mines. Now, these proximity mines can be detected by the enemy. You can use them to put down a small minefield, and I expect that as the game progresses, as the game gets upgraded, so can you upgrade this ship, so with possibly different mines, or more accurate mines, or more devastating mines, or larger minefields. So that is something that's in the future. For now, we can use the proxy mines for either mining an area, in the sense of deploying a minefield, or just flying over an enemy and deploying the proximity mines as you fly by. And that way the mines will also go off. It also carries missiles. This is one of the weapon systems, and this is actually not an ability, this is another weapon system. This is more or less the primary weapon, this is the secondary weapon. Next, it has, of course, an engine, which at the current stage of the game cannot be upgraded, but I hope that in later sessions this is definitely possible, because if you can boost that mobility even more, you have an excellent ship on your hands. And it can launch a detector drone. Now, a detector drone is going to sit somewhere in the middle of an area and tries to detect a cloaked ship. So in that sense, it does something similar to the Hunter, which can break through enemy cloak. But this thing is directed, whereas the Hunter spawns or sends out a detection wave emanating from the ship, so as a sort of ship bubble. This unit can deploy a detector drone, which is directed and stays up for a little longer. It creates a sort of no-go zone for a cloaked ship, and if a cloaked ship happens to go into the zone, it gets detected and decloaks, which makes it pretty vulnerable. So this is the frigate at the current stage of the game. You cannot upgrade it any further than this. And let's jump into some gameplay. Alright, as we're waiting for the match to begin, let's have a look at the ship. You can see that it is pretty mobile, and this is down to your 3000 points of almost 3000 points of mobility. So this ship can rapidly maneuver. You can dodge fire with it, you can quickly turn upwards like I'm doing now, and dodge fire this way. It fires a sort of quick fire lasers, if you will. That's the multi-shot. It looks like that. Don't expect these things to hit anything in the distance, because they're very, very short range weapons. So keep in mind that with these things you will not be able to hit a sniper. You need to get close into that. The missiles you can see mounted on the top of the ship. They are the large tubes. I cannot highlight them, unfortunately. But those those missile tubes fire off a large salvo of missiles. And with those missiles you can do a lot of damage, so be sure to use those as well. Next up are the proximity mines. I'm going to hit 1 for that. And you can see that my ship starts to deploy these bubbles, if you will. And these bubbles stay in the area for a certain time. I'm not entirely sure how long. And even if I was, then these things might disappear if you jump away. They might disappear if an enemy goes through them, of course, when it hits them. And this is probably subject to change. But for now, I'm not sure how long these things are in the arena. The detector drone, which is another interesting feature of this frigate, works like this. You send out the detector drone and it creates a large bubble. Now this looks a little bit like the cap circle, if you will. And especially if you're using this near the enemy or near a friendly cap circle, you can see that these things almost overlap, which makes them a little confusing. But with this, you can detect cloaked ships. The last ability of the ship is the screen, and I activate that feature by pressing right mouse button. You can see that I now have a screen directed wherever I want it to be. So it is something that I can direct towards the enemy fire. It does not last very long, however, 5 to 10 seconds, depending on how well your ship's upgraded. And that means that these ships are pretty vulnerable, because the screen is not going to protect them for very long. Your hit points are not very high. As you can see, I only got 4,000 hit points. And mobility is something that this ship is going to excel at. Don't expect this ship to take on enemy ships one-on-one, because they are not really that suited. You're going to chew through your own hit points pretty damn quick. And without hit points, you'll die, of course. So make sure that you have a friendly ship around. Support those friendly ships, and together you can take down an enemy using both your proximity mines, your multi-shot, your missile launchers, and possibly your detector drone if you need it. So these are the features of the ship. Now I'm going to skip ahead to some actual gameplay. Alright guys, time for some gameplay. Now, of course, we're starting out in our alpha sector, and I'm going to first have to wait and see where my allies are going. It looks like I got one going to B1, a second one is joined into B1, and another one went into A1. So I'm going to that side. Now I'm not sure why we're doing a 4v3. I don't think that you can join afterwards, but this to me strikes it as unfair. So I really think that Edge Case Gaming does need to work on their matchmaking, because this is it's just unfair. And there's nothing wrong with unfair matchmaking if you really want to win. But I do prefer games where the opposition definitely has a chance, where you can have a good game altogether, have a laugh, have some fun. That's what these games are for. So, see, there you go. 4v4. This is better. They got a flagship, 2 frigates. They got a flagship, a frigate, and 2 disruptors. So I need to look at that. Actually, 2 frigates, a flagship, and a disruptor. My bad. We have 5 ships even. Flagship, hunter, assassin, and a frigate. So it's a good matchup. But it means that I will not be needing my detector drone anytime soon. Now, I got a hunter right behind me. Almost captured it. Yeah, there we go. Got it. Trying to find a target over here, and there seems to be nothing here. I guess that the whole combat's going on in the B2 sector. Interesting, by the way. So, capturing terrain first, going for some income, then we can upgrade, get more hit points, because that is definitely important for the frigate. 4,000 hit points means you're pretty much insta-killed, depending on the kind of ship you're up against. A sniper can pretty much two-shot this ship, an assassin is just going to chew through it in one go. So this is definitely something I have to be really careful with. I gotta pick my engagements with this ship. He did a detector run, needlessly so, because there's no assassins on their ship, but he might be a new player. Okay, we got a new contact. Where exactly is it? There you go. Okay, lock it on. Missiles away. And you can see that it fires off a lot of missiles. They do have a cooldown of about 20 seconds, depending on the upgrade state of the ship. But that 15 seconds does pass very, very quickly, because it's just very, very quick in the game. As with most games, time feels a little bit accelerated sometimes. Okay, so we cleared out one ship. Let's go to Gamma. Looks like our team needs help on the left flank, even though we got 4 ships versus 5 on our team. So waiting for the jump dive to get charged up again. They killed off one of our ships. And another one, actually. So the flagship and the frigate... Oh, another ship has joined the fight. A hunter on their team. Okay, jump drive repaired. Or jump drive ready, I should say. Another ally got destroyed. These guys are good. This could be an interesting match. Yeah, they got a whole load of ships here. Okay, trying to capture this base as soon as possible. Hopefully I can count on an ally somewhere. Let's see. You can see that these things are out of range. My lasers are not doing anything. So the lasers are short range. And I cannot use my missiles either. They're not locking on yet. Oh, damn. I was gonna just deploy a minefield over here. But the mines are running into the screen, so this was a bit of a waste of that ability. Resource-wise, we're ahead by 5 points. Or 500 points. Almost got it, almost got it. We're being jammed by a flagship. Captured it. Alright, now we're going to go in and try and take down one of these ships. That thing is a frigate, and you can see that he's putting up a screen. That is the directed screen that I showed you earlier. So using the mobility of the ship to try and get as close as possible, as quickly as possible. Especially speed is of the essence here. And I want to go for this ship right there, Song. Missiles are locked on. You can see that the lasers at this range barely do any damage. So I'm going to have to get a bit closer. Doing some damage to the ship, although not a lot. That's better. We're going to throw some proximity mines at him, doing 100 damage every time. And as you can see, the lasers at close range are pretty damn destructive. Missile launch. Trying to do as much damage to this guy because I'm thinking that he might try to escape. I could put up a detector drone around here, but I don't really need one. Now I'm gonna change targets because this guy is trying to kill my teammate. So missiles away. That should do a lot of damage to this ship. And now, unfortunately, my proximity mines are still on recharge. The turrets didn't really swing around fast enough. Yeah, he's jumping away. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, wow, he's not jumping away. Yeah, he is. I was looking forward to getting him. Okay. They got tier 2 ships, and so do we. This too, by the way, is a new feature that wasn't there before. It just used to say the nickname of the ship. Okay, this is time to put up the deflector shield. And with that shield I can deploy or block all of these missiles. But the drones from that ship, those swarm drones, are doing a lot of damage to my ship. So it is time to get the hell out of here. And you can see just how quickly that ship managed to take me down. I could have jumped away a bit earlier, but most of the time this will happen because the frigate just does not have a lot of hit points. Okay, the gas facility is almost open. That is the middle area, and if you can capture the middle area, you can get a lot of resources. One of their team has already left, so although it's not very nice, that is actually good news for us. And they got two very, very weakened ships. So I'm going to make my way to A2, get these ships out of the way. That is, if Kefiden doesn't beat me to it. Get the ships out of the way and then jump into the gas facility, which is already being captured. Kefiden is using an assassin. And now the game has changed. It's now 4v5. So someone joined the game later. But apparently Kefiden doesn't care because he just eradicated that warship. Alright, securing another station. Not this one, but the next one. And you can see that we got, I believe, tier 2 ships at the moment, and they got tier 3 because they got more resources. Oh shit. Because they got more resources. Now I'm gonna have to be very, very careful against this ship because it has killed me already. And it is probably gonna go after the assassin next. I got disabled by one of their ships, probably their flagship. Yeah, it's time to get the hell out of here, because I'm gonna go down again. And I'm being stunned in place. I'm being disabled by that flagship. So you can see those things do a ton of damage. And that the frigate's not really capable of sustaining this much fire for a long time. And again, I get killed. So I gotta really stick close to a teammate in order to make it out alive. So long as you play like that, you have an okay chance of survival. So, respawning, let's see. Again, it is still 4v5, which puts us at a major disadvantage. And that guy on their team, Zared, seems to be a very, very good player. So, jumping away, moving to B1. No ships here, no enemy ships that is. There are still no assassins on their team, but fortunately another disruptor has joined the fight on our team. So that is something that they changed since the previous games. Now, they already have tier 4 ships, so they are even more dangerous than we are. They got tier 4, we got tier 3, we just got upgraded. And we're gonna try and capture this terrain with the 3 of us. Zelnaya is flying a hunter class. That means not a great amount of hit points. And the assassin is already engaging that ship. Now you can see by the 2 that this ship hasn't been upgraded yet. He still needs to visit one of those FOBs, the forward operating bases. And that is when he's going to turn into a tier 3. I have been upgraded, otherwise my hit points wouldn't be 4400. So I'm doing pretty good. But, of course, I am still a tier 3 ship. Alright, deploying my mines, and unfortunately the target has blinked away. So my missiles have all missed. Closing in as fast as I can. But I've been slowed down again by one of these ships. That means that this thing has now safely made it outside the range of my weapons. There's also another ship back there, who is now already tier 5. So they are definitely ahead of us. And that's mostly down to the fact that they have captured a lot more terrain than we have. They have a lot more income. And that they have the gas facility in the middle. Which really puts them at a major advantage. and means that they can do a ton of damage, and definitely a lot more than we can. So dropping my mines as soon as I get into range, but you can see that even with a computer as strong as mine, the game is lagging. So there is definitely too much going on right now. You can see that DPS is not really the strong suit of this ship, or I'm just playing it wrong. That's another possibility, of course. But mobility is definitely something you need to use. Blocked off a couple of missiles with that screen. There's still something shooting me from behind. Yeah, there's too many of those hostile ships around. And I think that we're getting surrounded. Deploying a salvo at short range, although it will not kill him, I think. It will, however, kill me, because I'm getting jumped by the entirety of the enemy team. So trying to use my mobility to get the hell out, and unfortunately I don't make it. So 1 death, 3 kills and 0 assists. We have only scored 1, 2, 4 kills versus 9, 10, 11, 12 of theirs. So we still got a lot of work ahead of us. And it seems that since last time I played it, they have upgraded the game even further, because the enemy ships are now tier 6. That means that that enemy flagship probably has hit points in the range of 24,000, maybe 28 even. And I don't really see how we're still going to win this battle. We got to try and keep up with them XP wise or resource wise. But I'm not sure that we can get up quick enough before they destroy us. Now waiting for my jump drive to get back in so I can jump to Gamma and help my ally in that area capture that zone. But for now they've captured all of the left flank, so B1 to B2, all of it is theirs. And right now it's pretty much waiting until they start capping our base. We got Mr. Stanek over here, who's also a frigate, so if an enemy gets a jump on us, we are definitely in trouble. Especially since they are tier 6 ships and we are only tier 3. And we got low hit points. And here they are. And they're capturing the base, while we are definitely not capturing theirs. So let's bring the ship around and try to get this Song over here, who's flying a Disruptor class ship. We're now tier 4 class ships. We got the necessary resources to do that, but Zelnaya or Zelnega has just jumped in as well. And I think that by now it's just a matter of time before they bring in multiple ships. Yeah, this is lost. The main base is captured. Alright, it's a defeat, but I hope that it still showed you exactly what the ship can do, how well it is. It is not a great ship DPS wise, but we can already see that immediately in the hangar from the low amount of offensive ability that the ship gets. It's more of a support ship. I should have stayed closer to a flagship to aid that ship, but I decided to go off on my own, and that is not the way that you play this frigate apparently. So still, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it taught you something about how to use these ships and how to kill them, because getting up close and doing a ton of damage in a very, very short period of time is extremely deadly to these ships. If it taught you something, if you liked watching the gameplay, please hit like. If you want to see more of my videos, subscribe to my channel, and good hunting when you're online.